This is Tim. And Tim is about 30 years old, and well, he really wants a Doberman. He's been absolutely in love with the look of these dogs ever since he was younger, and he first saw them in, some of his favorite movies and television shows. Plus, lately, it seems like Tim can't stop watching YouTube videos all about Dobermans, and now they're just popping up all over his feed. You see, Tim has always wondered if a Doberman would be right for him, but maybe kind of like you, he's always heard that they're really difficult to own. And well, things can get also just really ugly if you aren't just the right type of person to own this unique dog called the Doberman. Tim has stumbled on this video, and Tim, well, he's about to find out that he is, in fact, perfectly matched to this really very unique dog breed because Tim possesses these 5 key traits that are going to make his relationship with his Doberman the one he remembers for the rest of his life. This will be the best dog he's ever owned. Are you like Tim? Well, if you have these 5 traits, then the Doberman is probably a perfect fit for you too. This is how you know if you should get a Doberman. Just be like Tim. Now, as I said, Tim has 5 key traits that will make him an excellent match for a Doberman. And number 5 is actually probably the most important in my opinion, which is why I left it for last, of course. But we're going to start off with another important one. Tim is stable and he's committed. Dobermans absolutely love a strong routine, and they actually get reassurance from it, believe it or not. And having a strong and predictable routine, it'll actually lower their overall anxiety, it'll make them more relaxed, and it'll keep their misbehavior to a minimum. Now, Tim, he's stable, he's committed, he has a predictable job with set hours, and on a personal note, Tim just really enjoys predictability in his life as well, so he naturally has a strong structure to each of his days. Dobermans are also among the most loyal dog breeds in the world, and they're really just one-owner dogs. In fact, the big reason that they aren't used in military and law enforcement anymore is because they have this really strong level of loyalty to such this extreme amount of it that it actually causes a lot of problems when they try to change handlers, which is something that's required in those roles quite frequently. But Tim, you see, he's 30 years old. He's done with college. He has his career. He has a stable home and a yard, and he really doesn't see that his life is going to significantly change anytime soon. The next few years, at least, well, they're looking pretty predictable for Tim. So good for him. Dobermans are also known for their connection to their owners. They'll look their owners right in the eye, they'll read their body language, and they really crave that closeness with their owners. And this helps a Doberman really read a whole situation, and they learn how to react to any given situation based on how and what their owners are saying and how they're interacting with them. Luckily, our buddy Tim here, he just naturally engages with all of his dogs that he's ever owned, both verbally and non-verbally, with hand signals. He interacts with them frequently, he talks to them all the time. In fact, Tim's friends say that he kind of never shuts up. So he naturally just talks a lot, even with his hands. And sometimes he's not sure what to do with his hands. But that's okay, because Dobermans love it. Either way, these hand gestures and frequent verbal communication with his dogs provide constant feedback, and the Doberman, over time, it'll kind of teach them how to act and how to react, both home and out in public with Tim. So Dobermans are actually one of the most intelligent dog breeds in the world, as confirmed by multiple studies now, and they pay attention to what you say and how you say it. Then they adapt accordingly. So basically, more communication is definitely better with a Doberman. Trust me that owners who are quiet and they kind of stay to themselves, and they don't interact with their dog at all after a long day of work, those are the owners who will struggle the most with their Doberman. Luckily though, this isn't you, or Tim. Another thing Dobermans thrive off of are owners who are confident, consistent, but also attentive. Now this can be like a really hard line to walk, right? But luckily Tim, this guy, he does it pretty wonderfully. Tim is a confident owner. He does his research, he chooses a training method for his dog, and then he sticks with that method with rock solid consistency, never wavering. That's probably the most important part. This is just so great for these dogs, since Dobermans are also just naturally a little bit on the dominant side, and European Dobermans are even more so. But if they have an owner who isn't sure of themselves, who's constantly changing their training approach, or who's hesitant with what they do with their dog, they will see that and they'll absolutely take advantage of it. Then you'll start seeing disobedience, and you wouldn't believe it, and it would be very difficult to get back control of your dog once you start going down that road. But in addition to his confidence and consistency, Tim is also attentive. This means he's not just focused on himself, but he actually reads subtle cues that his dogs give off, and he'll make adjustments as necessary, much like the Doberman reads the subtle cues of its owners. But Tim can still remain confident and consistent along the way, which is definitely kind of a talent. Tim's definitely a one-of-a-kind guy. Dobermans are also very active dogs that require lots of exercise on a daily basis to keep them calm and relaxed. Luckily though, this Tim guy, he's a very active and adventurous person. He's always up for trying new things, but he has a few main hobbies outside the house that he loves. He loves backpacking and camping, but he also loves going to the lake and engaging with water sports with his friends also. See, the Doberman's energy level, it can just really get them into trouble if they're living in a situation where they can't get all their energy out. If they can get out their mental and physical energy, they'll become more relaxed and not as anxious. But if they don't, they'll develop things like barking issues, they'll destroy things in your house, they'll become reactive to other people or animals, they might show signs of overprotectiveness, just a whole lot of really ugly issues. Just don't forget that they're a working breed and they have that drive and determination and the energy needed to succeed at working tasks, right? That's what a working breed is. So combine this with a dog who's really focused on their owner with high levels of loyalty, and well, hopefully you're starting to get the picture here. An adventurous owner like Tim, who has an active lifestyle, is perfect for his Doberman. You know, Tim really has another trait that's gonna work heavily in his favor. You know, in addition to that attentiveness I mentioned earlier, he also just really cares. He cares enough about his dog. He really sees that feeding his Doberman the same processed, dried out kibble every day is not something that he wants to do for his dog, which is why someone like Tim, I guess, probably subscribes to Ollie. Ollie is our sponsor here at Doberman Planet, and they're our sponsor because we just really believe that they're one of the best, if not the best, fresh human-grade food services that you can give to, well, yes, your Doberman, but also really to dogs of all breeds. And that's because they do things like customize meal plans to their dogs and deliver straight to your door on a predictable schedule so your dog never runs out of this amazing fresh food. One reason their meals are so awesome is that they're simple. They contain just simple, real ingredients like those you'd find laying around your own kitchen, and they use proteins as the first ingredients in all their meals. They also use whole vegetables and plant-based proteins for a really complete, fresh, clean meal. And these meals are prepared with vet nutritionists to ensure that they contain the right balance of nutrients and they're proportioned just right for your dog. So I really want to give a big heartfelt thank you to Ollie for not only sponsoring us here at Doberman Planet and for caring about the health of our dogs, but for bringing fresh, real dog food back into the spotlight again and giving us all an option of feeding our dogs fresh home-cooked meals, even those of us who, you know, aren't nutritionists and don't have 5 hours to cook our dogs home-cooked meals every week. Check out Ollie and see the meal plan that they'll make up for you and your dog. It works great with dogs of all breeds. The link to them will be down below along with a coupon code that you really should use because it'll get you like half off your first box of food. It's pretty awesome. That coupon code is on your screen as well, and it'll be down in the description also. Okay, so now for probably the most important trait that Tim possesses, which makes him really an ideal Doberman owner. He wants an integrated dog, meaning a dog who's deeply part of his everyday life, both in and outside the house. You see, Tim would love to have a go-anywhere dog who joins him at his office, out in public when he's shopping, goes with him to outdoor restaurants or on weekend adventures, and really just a dog who will be with him and just kind of a part of everything he does. And Dobermans, they love to be a part of their owners' lives. These dogs absolutely are not good to just leave at home while you go off and, you know, live your life. They bond super tightly to their owners, and they're insanely focused on them, and their instincts as the world's only true blue protection dog, that really means that they want to keep their owners safe. So what does this kind of all add up to? It means that they want to be a part of everything you do. So, you know, just let them. So what's the biggest, most important sign that you're a great fit for having, you know, a Doberman in your life? That you want a dog to be a part of just about everything you do. If you possess these 5 traits, then you just might be like my buddy Tim. You might be the perfect person to go get and succeed at raising a Doberman. For those of you who own a Doberman right now, what do you think is a trait that is so important for a Doberman owner to have? Let's really help people out in the comments section. And I really appreciate that, and I know they would too. And to those who are considering getting a Doberman and watching this video, please check out the comments, ask questions down below. Let's really help each other out. I know a lot of you out there with these dogs were surprised by a few things about owning a Doberman. Why don't you share that, help some people out. And if you really want to spoil your dog and keep him happy and healthy, definitely check out our sponsor, Ollie, here at Doberman Planet. We're proud to feature them on this channel, and their link will be down in the description down below this video with that coupon code that I mentioned earlier. Their meals are amazing for Dobermans and really dogs of all breeds. Keep being great Doberman breed ambassadors. I'll see you next week, and don't forget, by the way, to nail that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it a whole lot. Take care, guys.